I have been to museums all over this country, from the Smithsonian's to each state, and here and there in between. And let me tell you, this museum is by far one of the top 5. Something that you don't want to miss. The grand opening of the National Museum of Military Vehicles is this year of May of 22. And this is the outside of 140,000 square foot of American greatness, all contained within the building and the property lines of this place. And what you are about to see is the greatest 4th of July parade I have ever seen with my own eyes. Du Bois, Wyoming, population 900, 10,000 on this day. As you walk inside this 140,000 square foot building, you're going to see this gun safe. There's only 2 in the world. One houses the Hope Diamond, and the other one houses Dan Stark's firearm collection. And as you will see, this firearm right here was the very first gun fired at Bunker Hill. And it's what got the Revolutionary War started. He outbid the federal government $492,000 to purchase it. And Mr. Starks is also an avid gun collector of certain people. He has George Patton's, Wyatt Earp's. He also owns all of the Winchester family collection of firearms as well. And what you will see in these photos is different firearms from different eras of all our wars. And even some that's unique, that you've never seen before, that are built, homemade. And if you are a current or former veteran, admission is free. As you step through these doors, you have a sense and a feeling that it's June 6, 1944. George Patton, his nickname, Old Blood and Guts, born November the 11th, 1885, and died December the 21st, 1945. He had a list of accomplishments that went on for days, and the same with wars. What you are looking at in these photos are his actual war diaries and his personal diaries. Quite a collection that this man owns. His years of service was 1909 to 1945, and a 4-star general. As you make your way around this room, you literally felt like you were on the banks of Normandy. There was absolutely no shortcuts throughout this whole museum to keep it real and as authentic as possible. And Mr. Starks, the man that owns everything under this roof and outside of the building, had no background in history, but it's a hobby of his. He loved it so much that he shared it with us. Each piece of equipment that comes through, he has a hand in rebuilding it and restoring it and learning the history of every single thing he has. And quite a few pieces of equipment that he owns has been in movies and television shows. This year, May 28th of 2022, will be the grand opening of the National Museum of Military Vehicles. There will also be various tank demonstrations and also live rounds being fired. And guests will also get to shoot them, with the fee, of course. And there will also be fully automatic machine guns available for us to shoot as well. And of course, another fee. But well worth it. You can't put a price on stepping into history. Each one of the exhibits that you were looking at in these photos and these videos to come, you actually felt like you were standing right there with them. And they do allow camping, whether in tent or RV, on the west end of the parking lot. As you make your way through this museum, each aisle and each row makes the hair on the back of your head stand up. Just knowing what these men had to go through. The military artifacts in this museum goes back to pre-Civil War to present day. We literally spent over 20 hours at this location in 2 days just to experience everything that this museum had to offer. And that's including all the outside equipment as well.
What, when, where, why? Tonight, Report from Vietnam by Walter Cronkite.
These ruins are in Saigon, capital and largest city of South Vietnam. They were left here by an act of war, Vietnamese against Vietnamese.
The regime of South Vietnam's President Ngo Dinh Diem comes to an end in a wave of violence. A few days before the army revolt, these last pictures showed a man who seemed to have no premonition of the horrible death he was to meet. The revolt was over, and a military junta under General Quang Van.
A dark page in the annals of America has been written to the crack of an assassin's bullet. A nation mourns, the world grieves. The man who became 35th president less than 3 years ago is dead. He led his country boldly through the treacherous shoals of Cold War crises. His firm commitments to support the cause of democracy throughout the world won him a claim almost unprecedented in the history of the presidency. He faced up to communist threats with such firm shows of force that Khrushchev backed down to Cuba, often a hard red line unbelief. War against the Viet Cong rebels. Was favoring out and more penetrating jungle areas with
The jungle area, 25 to 50 miles northeast of Saigon, which is the main staging base for terror raids against the capital.
As we continued our way through the museum, we found the Vietnam section. And I can remember asking my dad certain things about the Vietnam War, and all he would say is he hated it. This section of the museum gave me a complete and total understanding. And I have also toured the Vietnam Memorial in Washington, D.C., and I understand it completely now. The M54 6x6 5-ton, manufacture date 1951 to 1965. Diamond T, International Harvester, Kaiser, Jeep, and Mack all had a hand in building this truck, called Rolling Thunder. This truck was used in convoys to clear the way for our soldiers. The M54 was equipped with 2 M60s, 2 50 cals, and 6 Gatling machine guns that brought hell everywhere it went. On Saturdays, the creator, Dan Starks, gives tours himself of the museum as well. Mr. Starks has refurbished military vehicles from the United States, Canada, Russia, and the UK. And nurses are just as important as the soldiers, and there's a huge section throughout this whole museum that's dedicated straight to them. The Viet Congs were ruthless to our POWs. This is why we stand for our flag. This is why we take our hats off during the national anthem and give respect to the men and women who sacrificed everything for yours and ours freedom that we have today. And never, ever forget that or take it for granted. Carol and I, with Overlanding Adventures of America, would like to thank y'all for taking this virtual tour of our past 2021 and what's to come in 2022. Just know that we're going to be there May 28th, 2022 for the grand opening. It's going to be a sight to see. So please be sure and subscribe, comment, and hit that like button. And there's also a little bell icon out to the side that lets you know when a video's coming up. We would both greatly appreciate it, and thank you very much. After having a long conversation after we toured the museum on the second day, Mr. Starks said it was okay if I filmed with my drone. The Veteran Pavilion was filled with so many different vehicles, it was a sight to see. And this, folks, is the boneyard for future projects for this museum. Quite a sight to see. When Biden says you need to have an F-18 or military equipment, we're here shopping. Overlanding Adventures of America, Carol and I would like to thank y'all again for taking this virtual tour through video and pictures with us. This was 2021 recap, and 2022 will be even better. And well, folks, we'll see y'all on the trail.